Hello, folks. I wanted to take some time to give a review of the Cascade backpack by Portland Gear after having time to use it. This is actually the 21 liter size. They offer two sizes in this backpack. The other is a 13.5 liter. In my assessment, this is basically the largest size a backpack can be while still being a valid personal carry-on item for planes. I was still, when this was fully packed, I was still able to just barely get this under the seat in front. So if you're looking for this to be a personal item you can take on a plane, I think it's the perfect size for that. That's actually the reason I landed on this particular bag. The reason I have it sitting next to this other bag, which is a cheaper Amazon bag, I think this was like 30 or 35 bucks, is because this is my wife's bag that she uses for traveling on planes with, and she really liked it. She liked the design. This is also a I don't know, a hinged top loading bag where it opens like this. She really liked that design, and it's very functional, this particular bag. So I thought that I wanted that particular design style bag as well. So I started looking for that style of bag, and really this is the only one that I came across. So that's why I landed on this particular bag. When I bought this, it was, I think, like $98 plus shipping. I had a 15% off promo code, so it was roughly $100. Now it's gone up in price a little bit. I think it's $109. So not the cheapest bag. It's also not the most expensive bag. So anyway, getting into the pros and cons. We'll start with the pros. So the first thing I noticed with this bag is the quality. It's a high quality bag, I would say. The stitching is really, really nice. If you open it up and look in here, there's no like unfinished edges anywhere. This is also purportedly waterproof, and you can see around the zipper, the zippers are kind of like encased in this so it would remain waterproof. I'm not sure what material this is, and it was hard to tell online, but it's a really nice material. So the quality is certainly really nice. The rivets or whatever this is, it's just really high quality. So that is the first pro, I would say. Another pro is that they have put a lot of energy into the design of this bag, and there are certainly some of the design decisions they made that I'll call out in a little bit that I think didn't really work out, but some of them are really good. For instance, we have this handle right here, which is really nice for picking the bag up. This top loader hinged style, as I said, is really nice. You know, if you're sitting there, the space is a little cramped, you can, between your legs, open this up and have access to the entirety of the bag. There's some handy pockets in here. There's a zipper. There's this. There's one large space on the front. And additionally, in addition to this handle here, if you have the bag down like this, there's a handle here. So they put a lot of thought into the design. There's also this kind of secret compartment, which I think is really cool. I ended up putting like my passport and my license in there, and I felt like it was not as exposed as if it was in this slot here. There's a water holder on each side. There's vents here. There's some little hooks here you can hook stuff onto. And there's, I used this multiple times where you can put this on top of your roller luggage handle. So all in all, they noticeably put a lot of energy into design, and it paid off in many cases. So that's all the pros I'll share. As far as the cons, I'll share them the cons that, in my opinion, from least impactful to most impactful. So the first con is that, and I believe because of this handle, having to have the handle straps here, they've had to put the shoulder straps, they've had to connect them essentially in the same, with no space in between. And like, there's no backpack that I've ever seen that's an adult backpack where the straps are essentially joined in the same spot. You can see this bag here, my wife's, cheap bag of the same style. There's a space here, and that makes sense because your head is there. Your head has to have space for your head and neck, and then your straps go on the side. So that is not the case here. And I'm a larger person, and I have wide shoulders. This was something I did notice, that it kind of felt like it wasn't fitting me as a larger person ideally, because the straps were together there. So that's the first con. The second con is that, and I'll zip this up, there's nothing in this bag, so you can't, this isn't going to be as noticeable, but you can see it because my wife's bag is full. Her bag is full and it's zipped closed, and there's some additional material here in the front that allows for, when this is full and closed, to still have capacity and space for contents in this area. This doesn't really have additional space here, so what that results in is when it's closed, there's not like any space in here for you to store, not to store things, but to allow for space for things that is in there. So it's kind of like reduces the potential capacity because there's not some extra material here like there is in this bag. So that's con number two. The last con I will mention is that on my wife's bag, if you can see, there's some elasticity here in the straps. Okay, so what that allows is that if you have a water bottle in here, whether it's a small plastic 20-ounce water bottle or a larger like Stanley style water bottle, is that it can fit in there and expand and allow you to get your water bottle in and out. This does not have any elasticity. So when this bag is totally full, there's essentially not room for a water bottle in here. So what I found when this is full is I had to like really jam my water bottle in there. And I'm just talking about a 20-ounce plastic bottle. If I had a larger Stanley style bottle and I had a full bag, it would be even more annoying to get a water bottle in and out of here because you have to basically push your bag in to fit the water bottle in there. So that was a really annoying thing when I was using this bag and I had it full. It was just really annoying to get the water bottles in and out. And I think ultimately with their decision to put the straps here, to not add some additional material here, and then to not have any elasticity in the water bottle holder, I think those decisions were all choices of form over function. So I'm a person who really likes, when things are functional. So ultimately those three things, if I had to rate this like out of 5 stars, I would say 3.5 stars out of 5. Just because the functionality has been compromised by some of their design decisions. Would I buy this bag again? Probably not, because I've used it only a small number of times already, and it's something that I'm not loving to use because of the annoying things that they've done here. So anyway, hopefully this review helps you make your decision on your bag.